You want me to unmute myself on the OBS? Hello? You can hear me?
It should be working. Chat, let us know if it's working.
Yeah,
Indeed
okay.
it is. It looks like it's working. Hell yes,
Alright.
and welcome.
Take number 3, third time's the charm.
I mean,
As they
they've
always
been
say.
seeing our video. They know we've been trying this. They just sit there frustrated. So, as a quick intro, because this is the third time we've done it.
Okay,
third
I think
time's
we're
the
good
charm.
now. We're good now.
Yeah, we just got the confirmation that we do indeed have sound, so that is good. But just as a quick intro, because we've done this, it's now our third time giving this intro. We don't want to diddle-daddle for too long. This is Titan Gaming. If you guys haven't known, Titan Gaming, we're holding a tournament. 16 teams registered, 10,000 Rand prize pool. The entry fee is going towards the admin staff and everything. It's not going to Titan Gaming. So this is just to put ourselves out there. Titan Gaming, this is who we are. Kanye Diffuse, Patrick Fennick. Yeah, so just as a quick intro, the seeding will be happening shortly. We're just sorting those things out. We wanted to start the stream at 7 o'clock. Obviously, as due to those technical difficulties, that kind of was impossible. But still, we're gonna bring you the seeding. We're gonna be on time. So yeah, just as a quick intro before we head into that seeding, we wanted to quickly talk about the current state of siege in South Africa, where we sit, because in the past couple of months through lockdown, we've had a lot of tournaments. It kind of hit a slower part when the African R6 League kind of dried up. It's going to come back, but really with Medal State this weekend, it was the first Rainbow Six Siege action in South Africa we've seen in a long time. So with that in mind, Patch, I wanted to ask you, given what we saw in the Middle State tournament, what are your top 3 teams in SA at the moment?
Yeah. Okay. Well, obviously, my answer to that one is pretty expected. Most people will know this one if they've watched me in any sort of capacity recently with regards to Rainbow Six. Obviously, ATK is up there with my number 1. I think they're really good. They've obviously shown that they're really good. There's very little sort of doubt in that respect. Obviously, we can always talk semantics and things like that, nuances, but ultimately, they have proven themselves to be very exceptional in sort of the scene. I think that would be my number 1, and then of course maybe number 2, Frantic Six. I can't say who my third would be, but those are sort of the the top teams that I've been seeing in recent times.
Yeah, I just wanted to as well talk about. So obviously, let me give mine first. Top teams in SA, obviously ATK first. That's kind of uncontested. Genuinely, if you say ATK isn't the number 1 team in SA, you're either biased and you're on one of the second or third teams, or you just don't watch the videos.
Which is totally okay. Like you're allowed to
you have your
root for
opinions,
one of the other
but
teams
there's
as well,
an
'cause they're also
objective
good.
truth. So
well, yeah. I mean, whenever it comes to top 3s, there's always going to be a little bit of contention because if you're a fan of one of the 3 teams, you're always going to be sort of rooting for that team and hoping that they sort of win. And I mean, there's always room for that. The teams are all growing, getting better. I mean, just this last tournament, I think actually that me and you did. The performance that I was seeing from a lot of the teams there was quite a lot better than we had seen before. So yeah, it was definitely good stuff. And if you're rooting for those teams, and obviously you have complete right to do that. The teams have been doing a lot better. But yeah, ATK has been doing pretty much sitting on top for most of the tournaments ever since they were created as a team.
Yeah, so just quickly to round that off, my second team, Frantic Six, they've taken on ATK a few times. I believe they beat them once or twice, I don't know, in smaller tournaments that weren't streamed, and maybe yes, a few more times, but I'd say they are second at the moment. And the third one for me is kind of the wild one out there. It's Memento Mori. There are quite a few teams, and especially in this Medal State tournament, they did exceptionally well. They had an unfortunate seeding in the brackets, being in Group 4 alongside ATK, so really hard for them to just come out of that alive even. And then in the bracket stages, they got quite unfortunate, lost out early, but fought their way through the losers bracket, finally facing off against Frantic 6. Unfortunately, I believe it was load shedding that hit them. They had to play 4v5, so just unfortunate there to see them end up with that fate. So yeah, as well, one more quick thing I want to talk about is the best player in SA.
Ooh,
Patchy,
ooh,
any thoughts
spicy.
there?
That is difficult, actually. Now that you mention it, that is a difficult question because we've seen some players be putting out some pretty stellar performances right across the board. Um, Specifically, like in these top three teams, let's sort of keep our answers there because obviously the star player is likely to be in one of those three teams. We've seen we've seen those teams produce, a couple of players that are quite good. I've seen arguments for AML. A lot of people are
I know
fans
he's
of
got
AML.
quite a lot of support in each and every Twitch
Yeah,
chat, so
yeah. And then, I mean, of course, if you have a look on ATK's side, because obviously, we've been talking about how they seem to be the best team, whatever the case is. Obviously, in that particular team, there's quite a lot of standout players overall. So that's a difficult one. I can't think of one just like, oh, this one's the best. There's
yeah.
quite a lot of contenders for that spot, I think.
Yeah, when I was thinking about this, I actually narrowed it down to three players, and all of them I realized afterwards kind of fulfill a small niche that I'd say they are the best in their own category. So just running through that. As a hard support, we obviously know the tall tales of Goga and his long journeys with both Penta and G2. CC Plant. I would argue in South Africa, Jana Mana ek plant die bom, dis sticks hierso. One of the best players on ATK in my opinion. He is just such a reliable support. Plays with Barna, Mira, Valkyrie. Just a veteran player, sticks all the way, best support in South Africa. See this man carrying the bomb 24/7. We know how much ATK likes to go for that side play, that objective play. He's the one that always gets that bomb down. And then on the other side, you were talking about AML and how much hype he has in the Twitch chat. And I'd argue that's because he's one of the best fraggers in SA. He plays. I was checking on his R6 tracker. I can't remember what the exact name is, but he plays solely fragging operators. This man plays Ash, Jaeger, and Bandit, and he does well. Sure, you got to give it to him, but he excels in only one category, and that's why when I was looking at who's the best player overall, I got to give it to Corza. He is one of the best players in my opinion. He has a blend of all of it. He plays support-orientated ops, but still frags out. He's an experienced player, and I wasn't sure if the stat is correct. Someone in chat, if you can help me with this. On the R6 Tracker website, it says he is level 496. I reached in 4 years of playing, I think level 240 on PlayStation, level 100 on PC. This man just does he have a life?
I would not be surprised if he had level 400, whatever. That would not surprise me. He seems exactly like the player that would put in that amount of time and effort, and I think that's evident in also just sort of the play that we've seen out of him. Like you say, very much a well-rounded player, and I would agree with you there on some of those points. Definitely one of those top players up there. Yeah, that's difficult. Those are three very good players. I will definitely give.
All of them, like I said, they fulfill their niche in all their own ways. You can't argue they are good players. And yeah, I have a few more talking points I want to go over. But Scream, do you have the bracket seeding there ready for us yet? Hello?
Yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah, so you have the bracket seeding, right?
Cool.
Okay. While we just wait on that, I think one or two tiny difficulties still pertain. I don't want a repeat of the medal state where we 24/7 need to restart everything. Kind of had that opening already, thanks to me. Didn't get the audio input correct, but yeah. So talking about it still, Rainbow Six Siege. I believe this news came sometime during lockdown. The Q1 analysis of esports all over the world. I can't remember the company that did this, but essentially they rank esports in certain tiers. Tier 1, obviously, you would think CSGO, Dota, League of Legends, all these absolutely established scenes, all of these established esports. Tier 2, something like Fortnite, PUBG, COD, all of these esports that you know but don't necessarily have that big of an audience yet. And then tier 3, some lower games like Super Smash Bros. I don't even know what else you can put in that category. But recently we saw them actually promote Siege to a tier 1 esport, and that's pretty big.
That's cool, but that is also very expected. I think
Mm.
the way that sort of things go and the way that I've been seeing things nowadays is a lot of game developers sort of see a thing be successful and try and copy it. And one of the things that that usually does is it doesn't really result in a big enough sort of player base for a long enough period of time, right? Because ultimately, a lot of companies are trying to look at CS:GO and trying to replicate
Mm.
that sort of success. And
Yeah.
that's not something you can do very well, because if you try and copy that and do your own spin on it and try and replicate the success, it doesn't work because people like the thing for the thing. The thing about Rainbow Six is it took the genre of tactical shooters and it just put it literally took it and built it up from scratch on a whole different sort of idea, and really a unique idea that we haven't seen before. Now, obviously, a lot of clones of Rainbow Six are starting to pop up, but ultimately it's in and of itself like its own unique sort of game that people have picked up on. And when people see that kind of stuff, they love it. And it's no surprise to me that Rainbow Six has popped up in such a fashion into tier one, because being such a unique game then that's really well done. Despite the gripes that people might have about it and balances and all that, we all love to complain about that stuff. But ultimately, the game itself, as a concept, is really, really good, and we love that. People love that, and so yeah, that's unsurprising there, and it's nice to hear as well.
I mean, it's like Valorant is a big new game, but it's essentially just building on what CS:GO established. Rainbow Six is out of left field. No one has ever seen something like this before it came, and I'd argue there isn't something else on the market that fulfills this niche. But quickly, bracket seeding is ready. We've been waiting on it. We've been stalling. Transition into that screen. Here we go. Let's see what actually happens here. I'm pretty excited because we have a lot of good teams in this tournament. Just going over it, so if you guys missed the announcement, Titan Gaming, obviously we have our own in-house teams. Going to walk you through all 16 teams that are currently in the competition. Titan Evo, Titan Flow, Frantic 6, Vanguard Gaming, Mac and Cheese Gaming, I like that one. Vanguard Gaming Bravo, second team of Vanguard Gaming. Memento Mori, Frantic 6 Black, apparently a second team of Frantic 6, so that should be exciting. I mean, we all know how good Frantic 6 is, so yeah, big
have a look.
expectations
Brackets are
for that
generated.
second team. Oh, okay, so brackets are live and generated. Okay. Let's look at this. So how it's going to work is, Patchy, do you want to quickly walk us through how exactly the tournament formatting is going to work?
Yeah, so obviously it's going to be sort of standard stuff. We're going to be seeing, of course, we're going to see the round robins, and then we're going to see the eliminations. So essentially, we're just going to have the groups fight it out, progress towards the eliminations, which is of course where you want to be. So we're going to have I think it's the top 8 teams that are going to be moving from the groups once that resolves itself to the eliminations. And then, of course, we'll just do standard sort of elimination format to the end until we have a victor. So, yeah, let's have a look. You can see the groups here. 4 groups. You can see all the teams in the group. So it looks like we have Titan Frantic 6,
Ooh.
Vanguard Lenino. In Group B, we have Titan Flow and Vanguard Bravo, and Odyssey and Insignious Gaming. Oh, yeah, Insignious Gaming. Yeah, I read that correctly. Group C, Memento Mori, Mac and Cheese. And then we have Overdrive Esports and Leiden Esports. Group D is Cypher Gaming, Frantic 6 Black, and Southside Kings in Game of Drones.
I like that name.
Yeah, that's great. So that's round 1.
Yep. So, if you want to quickly swipe over to round 2, is that the same? Or am I? Oh, okay, it is actually different. Yeah, I didn't realize. So in the second wave of games, obviously 4 teams per group, so you can have 3 play days in each of the groups. You can have Titan Evo facing off against Lenino. Frantic 6 then will play Vanguard Gaming. In the second group, Titan Flow will be playing Insignious Gaming. Vanguard Bravo will be facing off against Odyssey. And in Group C, Memento Mori versus Leiden Esports. As well, Mac and Cheese will be facing off against Overdrive Esports. Group D will have Cypher Gaming going up against Game of Drones. And lastly, Frantic 6 will play My words, they befall me. Southside Kings.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so that's Group 2. Group 3 is the last one there. Group A is going to be Titan Evo versus Vanguard Gaming, Lanino versus Frantic 6. Group B will be Titan Flow and Odyssey, and of course Insignius and Vanguard Bravo. Group C will be Momentum Mori and Overdrive Esports and Leiden Esports and Mac and Cheese. Still a nice name, making me hungry somewhat. And Group D, of course, Cypher Gaming versus the Southside Kings and Game of Drones versus Frantic 6 Black. So definitely an interesting group stage. Now, of course, you saw the group seeding being done. You can see that happening all there, and you know what it is now. We've got that sorted out and set up.
Yeah,
so now we can look forward to it.
Yeah, so this should be loaded on the titangaming.co.za website if you guys want to check it out after this this live stream is done. It should be, yes, it is currently loaded under brackets on titangaming.co.za under the first Rainbow Six Siege tournament. So if you want to quickly talk over the groups, which groups stand out to you and which teams you look forward to seeing play each other?
Well, I mean, it goes without saying that the top 3 teams that we were talking about now is obviously some good teams to keep an eye on. And, well, if we have a look at let's have a look at the bracket itself, which I would like to get to. It looks pretty interesting. There's a couple of teams that I have not heard of, I think.
Yeah, definitely a few new teams registered, yeah.
Yeah, ultimately, I think all of it will be quite interesting.
Yeah, so standouts to me, obviously, Titan Evo, I believe, is a pretty good and up-and-coming team. As well, Frantic 6, we all know them. Vanguard Gaming, actually a newly formed team. I believe they have some pretty good players up in there. I wouldn't underestimate them if I were you guys. So in Group D there, we have once again a Titan Gaming group. And then Vanguard Bravo, I know a pretty good team. We've been talking to those guys. Insignius Gaming is well a pretty good team. I think I've watched 1 or 2 of their games, and Odyssey there, don't really know who they are, I'm gonna be honest. Group C, Momentum Mori, the team I gave third in SA2, as well as Leiden Esports. We saw them face off against Frantic 6 in the losers bracket finals, if I'm not mistaken. So as well, a pretty good team. I would be one to look out for the Momentum Mori Leiden Esports face off.
Yeah.
So further,
actually, that's another team that I didn't actually think about just straight off the bat. But Leiden Esports is going to be one interesting to watch as well.
Yeah, so mac and cheese as well. Like I said, that's making me hungry. It's late at night. I need to go eat my burger. Overdrive Esports as well in that group. No idea who they are. I'm gonna be honest. Group D, Cypher Gaming, Frantic 6 Black, second team of Frantic 6. So high expectations for them. Southside Kings, a pretty good team. I've seen them compete once or twice in the African R6 League, cast a few of their games. They're a pretty decent team. I wouldn't write them off as well. Game of Drones, a new team. Okay. So all around, it's looking pretty good. And yeah, if you want anything more to say, I think that's it.
I think the only things that we need to go through at the moment are, of course, the rules, which a lot of people were interested in as well. This is not all of the rules. Of course, the full set of rules is obviously available on the Titan Gaming website. But I think the one that most people are interested in, the one that's going to be most pertinent for the current moment, of course, is going to be that load shedding policy. So the big thing about the load shedding policy is as follows. So if a player or a team is going to experience load shedding during a tournament or match that has been scheduled, then the team that is going to be experiencing that load shedding or the person needs to notify a Titan Gaming admin, all right, before the match takes place. Okay, that's important. So if a Titan Gaming administrator has been notified, then the match can be negotiated for a change of date. Okay, so make sure that if you are going to be having load shedding, you check your schedules. If you're going to have load shedding when you're supposed to have a game, make sure to contact a Titan Gaming administrator as quickly as possible, and we can negotiate a change of game time. The other thing is, if a team loses a player due to load shedding, then a substitute can be utilized after the current round. Okay, what that means is if you're playing a round and one of your teammates drops because of load shedding, right? Like you've checked the schedule, you go into the match, everything's fine, but then suddenly load shedding changes, because that does happen. You know, we've all seen the load shedding stage just suddenly change and everything's going crazy. If that happens, then a team can substitute in another player, but only in the round after. So they will have to play the round that the player gets dropped in. They will play one player down, they will play it out, and the next round they can have a substitute in. Then if a team or a player fails to notify an admin of load shedding, then you will not be able to change the match date. So if you have load shedding but you don't tell Titan Gaming admin, then obviously change of match dates will not be accepted. But if you have a player on the team that is going to have load shedding, then you can obviously substitute in one of your players if they are able to, or you can forfeit the match if you don't want to play that one out, if you don't want to play with a man down or a couple men down. Otherwise, you can actually just play with the remaining players who are still online if you would like to do that as well. The second important thing, which doesn't have to do with load shedding but is still quite important, is the uploading of your MOS files and your scoreboard as well in the respective Discord chats. So once the game is done, obviously you're going to want to upload your MOS files as well as the scoreboard, so that the admin can just make sure that everything is verified and blah, 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 all that fun stuff. And then the last thing, and also one of the important ones, is all games must be recorded by the host. So whoever is hosting the game will record the game as it happens, and then a submission link will be provided in Discord under match rules, where you can then, of course, submit those recordings of the match.
Yeah, so all of that at the end of the day is just to uphold competitive integrity. We want to push the top tier of tournaments here in South Africa. We want this to be a big tournament and have that competitive integrity. But just to close it off, head to titangaming.co.za, the official webpage of Titan Gaming, if you want any more information on the brackets, the games that will be occurring, as well as just other news on our blog posts, which are written by myself, Kanye Diffuse. So if you want any more insights on European League blog posts I've written, who Titan Gaming is, our history, we wrote a piece on that, as well as just more news in esports in South Africa, head over to titangaming.co.za/blog, or just head to the tournament details if that is what you are looking for. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. This has been Kanye Diffuse. Patrick, if you want to have any final words.
I guess the only thing would be to thank the sponsors of the tournament, of course. That's a big one. Obviously, the one thing that I always say in every single tournament that I'm involved in, I always say, thank you to the people who sponsor it and make it possible, because that is pretty much the thing that supports tournaments from happening. And it's very difficult to host tournaments in the country of good quality, of decent quality, of making things, having prizes and, getting things really going and really, really bolstering the sort of esports economy in the country. So yeah, just a shout out to the sponsors. Obviously, you'll see that all over the place. Of course, it is Sell Us Cars. They pay cash for your car, safe and fast. Pretty much, there it is. So you know what it is. You've seen it before. You'll probably see it again throughout the tournament. But yeah, just a shout out to them. Obviously, anyone who supports esports is +1 in my books. So yeah, that's it from me. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining, and cheers. Good luck with all of your games heading into this tournament. Sure to be an exciting weekend. Kanye Diffuse, signing off.